Hello and welcome to Stylist Chats with Creatives. Today on the podcast, I'm speaking to Jo Fahy. I've said that right, haven't I?
Perfect. Absolutely
Yay!
perfect. Yay! Well done.
5 stars. And you're a food stylist, and we
Yes.
met in the summer on a big supermarket food shoot, and we got chatting away, as you do on set. And
Always.
it's constant, isn't it?
Yeah. What talking?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, people who know me know I never shut up anyway. So, yeah, the only time I'm ever quiet is if I'm not breathing.
I feel like I'm the same. We went to a wedding yesterday, so I was chatting away to Nath, and then it all went quiet because the ceremony was about to start, and then I turned to say something to him, and he was like, "Can you just not talk just for this 5 minutes while they're like saying their vows or whatever?" And I was like, "No, it was so hard not to talk."
No, I'd have my hanky out at that point. I'm a bit of a softer, so I think I'd be weeping quietly in a corner to myself at that stage.
Honestly, they their dog came and had some pictures taken at the ceremony, and that, like, the bride Sophie looked incredible, her husband looked incredible, and then the dog came in with a bow tie, and I was like, I am melted.
Yeah, gone. Gone.
I'm gone.
Wiped out.
Yeah, absolutely gone. So how did you get into food styling? I know that you've had quite a roller coaster of a career, to be honest, because you were actually a copper, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, for about 7.5 years. So that helps. It really, really, really helps with what I do now, hugely. But yeah, I was city centre Manchester at Bootle Street through the late 80s and early 90s. So it gave me a great training, really.
Yeah, I bet you dealing with lots of different people, I bet that helps now as well, because
absolutely.
Sometimes when you're on set, it can get very stressful, and people want stuff immediately, and
it's being able to walk onto somewhere, especially if you're doing a television commercial where you have a big crew. You've got a big crew and a lot of investment, a lot of money, a lot of pressure for the agency and the client. But you might have 60 people on set, but it kind of comes down to you, a kebab, and a bottle of chutney, for example. And it's like you've got to be able to quietly take control of that. Just gently and subtly take control of that and build those relationships really quickly with who you need to. Your art department are usually absolutely amazing unsung heroes. Your DOP, you need to become soul partners pretty quick. So it's identifying people that you really need to have on side and bond with, to get the job done, because otherwise it can turn into a bit of a clusterbuck. Really quickly. Yeah. And in film and stuff, it's pretty much the same, but they don't wait. They don't wait. They will just roll. It's a juggernaut. A circus juggernaut has rolled into town and wrapped you up in it, and you're in the washing machine for a couple of days, and then it spits you out again. And it's wonderful fun. But depending on who you're filming for and the size of it, American and German crews tend to be a lot quicker and a lot now, And if you don't have it and it's not fundamental, you'll get it there 2 seconds too late, and they're like, "Yeah, we've moved on."
Jeez.
Yeah, it can be brutal. But UK crews, it's normally really quite chilled.
I've not worked that much on TV, so I'm not as familiar with it. So, like, for me, like, the closest I can compare to is like when I'm on a big campaign shoot or something.
Yeah, very much the same. It's finite. You've got that timeline. That has to be met. It has to be done. It's exactly the same with stills. It's
Yeah.
just got to be done, got to be, and come hell or high water, it gets completed. But no, I think being in the police, it certainly gives you the ability to read people and handle big groups of people in stressful situations. And yeah, I can talk to anybody,
Yeah.
and frequently do.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I've met my match. We were gassing away for like whilst working, obviously. We
Yeah.
weren't
Oh, yeah,
slacking,
yeah. Still doing stuff.
but it's nice to chat to somebody who's been in the industry for a long time as well, and you've got lots of different things that you've done throughout your career. And I
Yeah.
find it really interesting that you were in the police first and then
Yeah.
went over to a creative career, because
Yeah,
they
sure.
seem so very different.
You kind of have to be creative when you're doing that kind of job, though, because you've got to be able to assess stuff really, really quickly and formulate solutions. And what is our job but that?
Yeah.
At
Yeah,
the end
that's
of the
very
day,
true.
I mean, the only thing that's changing is the problem,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's, I mean, obviously, it's not, nobody's going to die at the end of the day. It's a steak, it's a chip, it's a piece of salad, it's a piece of baby spinach. Nobody's going to die unless they choke on it, So it's kind of, it's not life or death,
No,
which
I
makes life a lot more relaxing.
definitely. I think that clarity also comes with age, I think, and working in the industry for a long
Oi,
time.
cheeky.
Hey, I'm talking about me too.
I'm going to be 60 in 2 years' time. I'm 58.
No way.
I shit you not. Yeah, I'm 58. So, yeah, it does come with, I've been doing this a long time, I must admit. But it ain't my fault. It's Barbara's fault at the end of the day that I'm doing this. I always blame her. But basically, we were mates, and I came out of the job with PTSD. So I was kind of sat at home wibbling with pencils up my nose, a bit like Blackadder. And not quite got to the point of pants on my head, but getting there. And she was like, right, it's enough. You got to get out of here. Come to work with me. You can come and assist me. And Barbara was already a freelance stylist. So I went out working with her. And the rest is history, as they say, really. Did everything from still life fashion, fashion photography, models, room sets, food, children, birthday. It's like you're in a big
Yeah.
studio with 12 photographers, and you kind of like, they've got to be fed. You just got to, can you come and do this? Yeah. Can you? Yeah. Can you? Yeah. So, and that's it. I never went back to doing a proper job.
That's
We
so
just
cool.
carried on doing that. And Barbara's amazing interiors stylist and textiles and fabric. So we were the curtain queens for many, many years, doing curtains and room sets, etc., etc. And we did exhibitions, private showrooms for textile and bedding manufacturers, exhibitions all over the place, all over Europe. We used to do fashion exhibitions, fashion textile exhibitions, blah, 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 and window dressing, which we both absolutely love window dressing. Great big lengths and bolts of fabric doing displays. It's amazing. So that was it, really.
That's incredible that it just took Barbara just going, come on, come with me. And you're now here.
Off, yeah. Well, we opened a restaurant for a little while, and I ended up chefing in the restaurant. But when we sold that, it was like, right, well, back into photography. And I was at John Eckhart's studio, the lovely Johnny in Leeds. Brian Brook was there, my Uncle Brian. And I just sat watching him, and I'm like staggering past with like a chest of drawers or something. And he's there moving peas in a bowl. I thought, I'm doing something wrong here. So I got chatting to Brian, and I was like, this looks really good. I think I quite like it. I like the look of this. He said, well, just do it, darling. It's fine. Just nobody says you can't. Just go and do. So I did, and Barbara retired, and I carried on the interiors for a little while. I'm not an interior stylist. I can do it. I don't like it. Rather put pins in my eyes, all of that kind of bitch. Love doing food props. That's completely different.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, I'll do the food. Thank you very much. So I just started building it up from there. And then you do what everybody does. You work your arse off and then work your arse off some more. When you've done that, you work your arse off a little bit longer. And now, like 16 years later, this is it. But I've been styling since 96, 7-ish, something like that. That was in the 90s. What people are now referring to as vintage.
Oh, don't. Oh,
Could you come and do this
honestly.
vintage scene for us? When is it? 1984? Fuck off. I was at school.
It makes me laugh when I see all the like 90s stuff. I think there was a supermarket like TV ad, and it was a very 90s themed ad this
Yeah.
Christmas just gone. And I walked in the set and was like, well, bugger me, this is like going back in time to my grandma's like living room.
This is my youth.
Yeah. I was like, oh God, someone get me a wheelchair and put me in the care home.
Oh dear Lord. Well, I'm again 58. Yeah. It's
Just
craziness. We've just been out today actually buying curtains. We went and bought a pair of curtains. We've not bought curtains in 30 years. We work in interiors. And it's like, why are we buying curtains? What is happening to us? But the amount of 70s motifs and designs that are out, it was like, oh, this is mental.
yeah. I feel like it goes in cycles, doesn't it? And it's like
Gosh,
30-year cycles and
yeah,
just
yeah.
and then you look at stuff and you think, oh, okay, that's very like 80s, 90s, early
Yeah.
noughties, you know.
The trick is to keep that stuff now.
Yeah.
Buy it, keep it, put it away for 30 years or put it in your will to somebody. And then hopefully when there's a Scandic revival
Yeah.
in like 2060, there'll be quids in. Yeah.
That's it. I half wish my mum had kept like some of our bits from the late
Oh,
90s, early noughties. Like, oh,
oh. You know what's killing me is the Eurovision is in Stockholm this year. There is a point to this, I promise you. Yeah, it's in Stockholm. It's the 50th anniversary of ABBA winning the Eurovision Song Contest in Brighton in 1974. I can't do maths. And so, of course, it's getting a massive revival. And because I was a child, I had, it was ABBA mania everywhere. And I became a member of the ABBA fan club. I thank you very much.
nice.
And I had every ABBA magazine from number one right the way through to when they stopped doing them. And one of these magazines now is about $5,000.
Oh,
Can you feel the pain?
yeah. Do you not have them anymore?
I could have retired on those.
Oh, God.
Mate, they've gone. Binned.
Oh, God. But then, like, I look at when my grandma moved and she was picking stuff back out of the skip.
Yeah.
And in some ways, I can understand.
Yeah,
because,
totally.
you know, that there's a lot of memories and stuff, you know,
Of
but
course.
then, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that was a thing that. But I must admit, it's one of the things that, I mean, you can't cry over spilt magazines, but that's one of the things I absolutely adore about food, though. You know, and it is like curtains and interiors. It's just such a backdrop to your life that you don't ever notice the subtle change. You know, when Barbara and I were kids, we were absolutely made up when they came up with Vesta meals. Do you remember when Vesta first came out? I bet you don't. And
No.
these amazing meals, the first ever ready meals that you could pick off the shelf, and it was a meal. And I love doing period and historical food. I absolutely adore it. And I don't care. I'm going back to the 80s this week coming up.
Oh,
1980s, and I'm also going back to 1920s this week as well.
oh, that's cool.
It's so cool. It's so cool. You know, just doing the
So do you
research
have,
on things.
I was just going to say, sorry to interrupt you then. I was just going to
It's
say
all
about
right,
the
love.
research. Do you have to research it and then like
Yeah,
make the recipes out as well?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, that's so
I mean, it's a
cool.
shame there's no video because the bookcase behind me is just full of cookery books, recipe books, everything that I've bought, begged, borrowed, been loaned, and they just go all the way back. I mean, I think the latest one here, or the earliest one I did, was about 1650, 1660. That was,
That's
that was Tudor, and then I did 18th century stuff, so like 1740ish for Gallows Pole on BBC One. So that all had to be researched, and then every decade coming forward. Emily, it was all through the 1850s, 60s, and 70s. Munich Edge of War that I did for Netflix, that was 1938. And then, of course, you've got all the different classes. So, depending where you were in the demographic, obviously you had different food. So, as well as geography and time, you've got class to consider. And it's just, I just love it. I absolutely adore it. That's what I live for.
it's so cool because I don't think I think we all take for granted when we watch a TV
Yeah,
series or a film
yeah,
that
yeah.
everything's just there. But obviously, you've got to put in all the legwork before
Uh
to
huh.
then
Yeah,
make it look great on TV,
yeah,
which is an art within itself.
absolutely.
And it's just insane. This is like
Crazy.
blowing my
It's,
head off.
well, we're doing this 1970s. Again, it's quite funny because it's my childhood.
Mm.
1976, I was 10 years old. So my 10th birthday party was slap bang in the middle of the 70s. And I'm recreating stuff for that time, kind of going, I had one of them. I remember that. But, it's like gelatin is king.
Mm.
If it ain't in jelly, we don't want it. Send it back. But it's just amazing. But it's so subtle.
Yeah.
So subtle. I've also got a bit of a personal project going on because I've bought. We were wandering around an antique fair in Buxton, and I came across a set of 4 recipe books. And when I flicked them open, they were all handwritten by cooks.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I don't know if I should be telling you this. You might need to cut this out. We'll have a chat later. But I just fell in love with the people that wrote these books. They were cooks in middle class and upper middle class houses, handwriting and sharing recipes between each other.
Because I think there's a lot, and nowadays they do a lot more in the stately home, or maybe I notice it more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But they do a lot of like the kitchen research, and there's a lot of these. My other half watches a channel on YouTube, and it's a guy. Oh my god, I've forgotten his name. But it's like a history channel, and he did a series that was like food throughout a
Oh,
certain like.
through the ages.
Yeah, it was really good.
Ooh, I think I know who you mean. I think I've seen this chap before when I was looking for 1700s. I
Yeah.
think I had a look at this dude.
Yeah, and he like eats it as well, and he's like, so they
Yeah,
try and recreate it the best as they
yeah,
can,
yeah, yeah.
and it'll be like, I don't know, one of them I just remember sticking in my head was like a really horrible hard like bread, and he was like, oh, you can like, I'm losing half my teeth, you know.
I think that might have been rye bread. I'm just going to stick my
Mm,
neck out there. That sounds a bit pumpernickel to me. That.
yeah,
Yeah,
possibly,
yeah,
possibly,
yeah,
but it's really fascinating that like you get to do all the research as well and then execute it. It's
yeah,
quite a nice journey that your job goes on.
yeah. I mean, it's like you.
Mm,
You get a job that you get really into, And you're never going to, it's not about money, it's not about remuneration. It's just that absolute fascination and passion of getting it right.
Yeah.
Just it being accurate, it being on the dot. And I've spent hours and hours and hours and hours just trying to find the information, which that research is an art in itself. It really
Yeah.
is, But I've also done futuristic things. I
Ooh,
designed a set of futuristic burgers.
nice.
Yes, that was quite interesting. Futuristics, that was for Wanderlust, actually, one of
Oh.
Russell T Davies. They didn't use them in the end. It was a, do you think you could? Yeah, of course I can. So sadly, they've been shrouded in the mists of time. Never to be seen again. So it is
Oh,
interesting.
it is. It's like, it's just so cool that you get to do that job. I know often I see on your Instagram stories, often you're in a car park somewhere
Yeah,
under a like
spend a lot of
tarpaulin or
time.
something.
Yeah,
And
yeah. The stately homes is the glamorous bit. That's fine. We spend an inordinate amount of time under easy ups in the rain, in winter, freezing our asses off, researching where I can get electric gilets from because somebody said, "You do know you can get an electric gilet, don't you?" And it's like, that sounds like heaven. Ridiculous amount of time. But I quite like being in car parks because it means you don't get stuck and you can get away easy. So yeah, that's the upside of it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think I'm going to be up a hill this week. I have a feeling I'm going to be up a hill, a big hill.
Are you gonna have to take all your kit up there as well?
Well, fortunately, it's not. I don't think it's going to require any cooking.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, it isn't. But that's not bad. But I'm kind of like, yeah, we need a donkey. I'm not going up.
Yeah,
Don't
and
let
a
me
like
be
little
silly.
cart.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Or they might have a little quad bike with a trailer or something. Yeah, I
Oh
think.
yeah,
I must admit though, for all of this, I love getting back in the studio. I love doing stills too. It's
yeah,
kind of from one extreme to the other. It's really nice to get back in the studio and do photography.
yeah. Because I think as well, the stills days are slightly shorter, aren't they? Probably by
Yeah,
about five
yeah,
six hours.
yeah, yeah. Film tends to be, but then again, we're not always there all day, so it's a little bit swings and roundabouts. If you're on a 7 o'clock call, that's probably the roughest day because you're up at 3, 4 o'clock and getting yourself there, etc., etc. But you can be away by, unless you're really unlucky, you can be away at a decent time. They'll release you as soon as they can because we always have to have a pre-call because we're doing stuff before main call comes on. So it's like, yeah, it's a 7 o'clock call. It's like, great. Oh, yeah, okay, no problem. You've got a 2 hour pre-call just so that you can get set. So they're always shorter. They're always a shorter day when you do stills. But I,
Yeah,
I, I like the fine detail styling on stills. It's not so much broad strokes. It's more like laying down a mosaic.
yeah, yeah. And I remember us doing that. I think it was like Christmas dinner sides,
Yeah, yeah,
and it was like where the rosemary leaf was laid on roast potatoes,
yeah,
or like it's not necessarily just the composition of all where stuff's going. It's then all the finer details, like, oh,
yeah,
can we see the crystallized salt on it? Can we see this? Can we
yeah,
see that?
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Where's your
it's
text laying?
yeah,
Simple things. Don't put it there. I need to put writing.
yeah.
Okay.
That always makes me laugh, where you make something like look really nice on screen and then they go, yeah, we've got to put our like header there, we can't
Yeah.
have that there, and the header's in like white and you've put potatoes in the background or whatever.
Shall I
You're
put
like, right,
some green there instead then?
yeah. That's like a big giant puzzle though, isn't it, where you don't,
Yeah.
the best way to describe it is like a giant puzzle but you don't have the final picture to reference,
No.
and you've got to
No.
somehow make it work.
And somebody's thrown 3 of the pieces away and nobody knows where they've gone.
Yeah. Yeah. And then someone goes, "Are you sure it's meant to be that turkey?"
I used to have a turkey that was virtually a friend called Terry. I called him Terry the turkey one year. And I made this turkey last so long it was unbelievable. We were doing location photographic shoots. And he's like, "What's that smell?" I said, "Oh, you must excuse Terry. He's been going since Tuesday."
Oh, fucking hell. I
But
think this is
the
that's
thing is,
another thing.
but it's when you're shooting Christmas in July and
Yeah.
you're trying to, I mean, obviously I'd done him fresh the day before. I am pulling your leg. But you can't, unless you've got a really, really big refrigeration unit in the back of your car, how do you transport these things?
Well, yeah,
Interesting.
that's it. You
Yeah.
can't. And like I remember one studio, it was during that massive heat wave,
Oh,
and it was hideous, and all the fridges shut down because it hit over 35
yeah.
degrees outside. So the
Yeah.
fridges went down, and it was all
Oh.
the Christmas meat in it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was like, don't open the fridges. Let's can all the shoots we need to for the Christmas meat. Like, just don't open them, don't
Oh,
touch them. So yeah, nightmare.
oh my God, that's ridiculous. You just
Mhm.
have to throw your fridges complete into a skip and just have sealed them shut first. You might as well because you're never going to use them again.
No, no.
Oh.
It was, yeah.
Oh, you
It,
wouldn't wish that on your worst enemy, would you?
no, not to open that fridge. And like,
No.
I've opened fridges and been like, oh, fucking hell, that is a stench.
Yeah,
And it's often like a bit of meat or like a Terry the turkey that's a couple of days, that
that's
he's,
the best.
yeah. And he's like got a bit of cling film on him, and he's,
Yeah. That's
you
all been
know,
squished to the back because people have put about 400 other things on top of it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Although I could tell you stories about, well, I won't do, but I could tell you a story about having to shoot chicken and meat that's gone off because there was no alternative.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that before as well. I think I've
Oh,
probably witnessed it as well.
yeah, yeah. I won't say where or who with, but it was like, let's just say we were fighting for the sink.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Wasn't
God.
pleasant.
It's always makes me laugh. Like if I'm asked to go out and get food, say I just need to fill some Tupperware boxes or something.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
people are like, will you just go and grab some tomatoes? And it's like, you
Oh,
can't just go and
does,
grab stuff from the supermarket. It has to look
does.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, you just pop off and do that. Let me know how you get on.
Yeah.
You're getting a phone call, aren't you, within 5 minutes?
Yeah.
What kind of
Like,
size of tomatoes did you want? Is there a
yeah.
particular colour? Did you want them on the vine or off the vine? Do you want piccolino? Would you like them coloured or heritage?
Yeah.
Yeah, all of the above.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah,
I think I was handed like some burgers once to just do like a packet shot, and
yeah,
someone had gone out to the shop to get them, and they'd just slung them in the bag, really.
yeah.
Came to me, and I was like, why do these look like they've been through a landslide? Like they're just all down one end of the box, just like, oh, for God's sake.
It's when you get that thing of, yeah, it's okay. If you send a shopping list, we'll do your shopping for you.
Oh,
Which is great on the one hand because you're like, oh, actually, no, that's really cool. And then it's exactly that, though, because people don't know. I put food through a till in a supermarket and I put it through, if you know what I mean. It's kind of, they have very little contact with it apart from scanning the barcode.
yeah,
Because it's like, no, give it me back, thank you. Ta. So anal about it because there are some things that you can just break and dent that you just can't ever pull back. So
yeah, yeah.
we're doing a shoot last week, and there's somebody the company had sent out raw dough for the product to be made out of, and I swear to God, it had looked like it'd been dragged up the M6 at the back of a juggernaut. It was just horrific. And it's like, what do you want me to do with them? I can drop kick it into a bin. I bet I can get it in from here.
That's reminded me of a client said to me, we've got some orchids to shoot today.
Oh,
And I was like, oh, lovely. And they literally looked like they'd been run over by the delivery truck. And I was like, I cannot do anything with these. Like, this, it's dead. I can't revive it. I might be good at my job, but I can't make that look alive.
So,
It's done.
I always say to people, I said, I know I'm good, but it's okay, don't worry, I trained at Hogwarts. I reckon I can do it.
Oh, God.
Wingardium Leviosa. So see, just to have a quick Google, see if there's a local florist that can do life support.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because no amount of wire or anything was going to help with it.
No.
Jesus. So that actually leads quite nicely onto my next question, actually.
Okay.
What's the most difficult thing to style food-wise? What do you find the most difficult?
I think people would always immediately say ice cream. Cocktails are tricky. Drinks.
Yeah.
You know, that's an art form and a specialism all to itself. And again, because it's got ice in it. But ice cream tends to be you know when there's an ice cream shot in a studio because everybody's hovering about 3 inches off the floor. You know, it's there's a certain tension that comes along, you know, because it can be its own beast. It really can. That 30-degree plus heat that you're talking about. I did a 2-week ice cream shoot during that.
No.
Shit, you not. There were 2 of us on it.
Fuck.
I spent a lot of my life with a wet bar mark underneath my boobs on my clothes because I was hung upside down in a chest freezer, hand carving ice cream. Like, it's ready! It's walking!
Yeah. You best be pressing Apple K now! Get on with it!
Oh. But I think you get used to it. And yeah, when it's product shots, you have to use the actual products. I mean, if you're faking it, obviously that's a lot easier because it's got to be on set for quite a long time. So obviously you can't use the real stuff. So that's where you're getting into your tricks of the trade kind of thing about sculpting ice cream out of other things.
Yeah, I've seen people use smash, I think.
Yeah, mashed potato used to be, I think it's probably still a bit of a favourite, really. Lard, coloured lard, and icing sugar, buttercream people use. But yeah, there's lots of different things that you can do. Just depends how close in.
Well, yeah, and I suppose like what you, like you say, how close in and like what your favourite thing is to work with, isn't it, really?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I do like small detail, I must admit, but then again, I do like massive banquets. You know, we've done 5.5 foot tall red seafood towers for Sexy Beast that was on Paramount, the prequel. Paul was on that, and it's just mind blowing. The thing, you know, it's like I never dreamt in a million years I'd be here, more or less pinning lobsters and crab and crustaceans to a polystyrene former and dressing it. And that was huge. That was a massive job. So I think sometimes the bigger scenes where you've got a lot of people, but the food is quite integral to the action that's going on. Munich, we did that we did at Knowsley Hall. That was a recreation of a banquet that was given just before the outbreak of World War II. So it was a historical piece. So it still had to be historically accurate. It was during lockdown, and I was quite lucky actually, because a photographer friend of mine said, well, if you're recreating the Savoy, the executive chef at the Savoy is a Geordie. John Williams. And I went,
Oh,
okay, right, here we go. And I just thought, oh, fuck it. So I contacted the Savoy and asked if the chefs would help. We're recreating a buffet on a day at a time. Do you have anything in the archive that would tell us what was served? And he was like, yeah, no problem. Here you go. And he just sent it all up to us. So this is the thing about doing the research and just going that extra little bit so that you know that that's what they were eating on that day at that moment in time. So
that's so
it's super
cool.
cool. It is. It can be super cool. And shooting in the main banqueting hall at Knowsley Hall, and they lent us Queen Elizabeth II's personal dining plates.
Whoa.
And I refused to touch them. I said, I'll plate them. I said, but I am not carrying, I'm not
Yeah,
touching them.
I would have tripped over and broken them.
Yeah, yeah,
That would have been me all over.
yeah.
And there'd have been like some sort of like dinner just flying in the
Yeah.
air,
I
and I'd have
swear
just landed.
oh, Charlotte, the gilding was about half a centimetre thick off the plate. It was just ridiculous. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. And the funniest thing about that, they let us use the kitchens at Knowsley, which we'd used a few times on other stuff. And a good friend of mine, Paul, was with me, and we'd just sent all this beautiful food out on this gorgeous state dining service. And we'd sent the last plate, and I was like, wonderful. And I turned round, and there were 2 Hollands meat pies neatly side by side in the oven that were both from Rochdale. And he'd actually brought some Hollands meat pies and stuck them in the oven for lunch. I'm like, oh man, I love you. I love you.
That's a lovely thing to do, especially when you're like so tense with like trying to get stuff out
Yeah,
and ready, and
yeah,
then your mates just stuck a pie in for you.
yeah.
That's great.
We sat outside overlooking the gardens at the front of the house with all the crew and the lighting and like massive arc lights and all the rest of it, looking out over these beautifully manicured grounds with a plate with a Hollands meat pie and a cup of tea in our whites. Watching the morning. You all right? Yeah. No, fine. Thank you very much.
Couldn't get any more northern, could it?
Wow. Northern Food Stylist, what do you expect?
Yeah, that's it. So that brings me on to your Northern Food Stylist
No, it doesn't, does it?
page. Yeah, absolutely does. You're keeping up with me. Well, no, you're doing my job. So this is really good. So I've seen that you collaborate with other food stylists and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So what is the premise of your Northern Food Stylist? Is this going to be a food styling agency? Is it? What's the premise of it?
It kind of started out quite innocently, and then I went and got myself in a lot of trouble, really, I think. I just couldn't. I hate turning work away.
Mm.
I really hate turning work away. It's a paranoid imposter syndrome type situation. And I was just getting work that I needed assistance on. So if it's a big job, it's too much for one person to do it. So it started out with, look, I need help on this day. Are you available? Yeah, absolutely. And then it came to be like, oh God, I've got a job, but I'm already booked. Do you want to go and do this job for me? And it became a bit of a for me situation, where we've now got a group of about 3 or 4 of us, maybe going up to 5 or 6 people, who are quite happy just to come out and dig me out of the mire if I'm kind of like overbooked and don't want to give, don't want to not give the work away, but I don't want to lose that contact. I want to develop that contact because I'm getting old, Charlotte. I'm 58, nearly 60, and I need an out, basically.
Mm.
So, and we've become a bit of a cooperative, really. So, not really an agency as such, but a cooperative of people working together. Like we were saying earlier, I might as well pass work on. so that eventually I can kind of stay home a little bit more, rest my 58-year-old bones a little bit more. And it's also highlighting the absolute bloody wealth of talent we've got in the North. You know, I've always worked up here. Some of the most unbelievable talent that I've seen up here, creative talent in so many different ways. And it's highlighting the fact that we can do anything that anybody else can do here in the North. And the industry is listening, and it always has done. But film and TV are migrating. They have to. So while I'm in that kind of arena, it's developing those contacts and that work now, so that more and more and more people are visible. They're being seen, you know, as being available and trained to do that kind of work. So the experience I've developed over the last God knows how many years, it's bringing other people up and through. And people don't know that we exist, home economists. So it's a nice, quiet little niche.
Yeah.
But it's quite specialised. You know, it's very, very specialised. So at the moment, it's a group of us. I've always been the Northern Food Stylist because I couldn't think of anything else to call myself on social. And then it's just naturally, organically grown into like, well, you know, really, yeah, well, we should we'll do this. Let's just do this as a group of us. I'm kind of big boss mama. And they're just lovely, wonderful people who work hard, talented, creative in their own right, and all have their own businesses. They're all freelancers. We've just kind of developed, or I've kind of developed, this cooperative between us all where we all get work, we all support each other, and we all go out there and do wonderful, brilliant things every day if possible.
I think it's such a cool idea because it is hard, especially if you're starting out in, if you're a new creative and you don't really know kind of where to find work or whether you even enjoy it, because let's face it, sometimes you do stuff and you go, well, actually,
very lonely job. It's really lonely.
Yeah.
You know, you spend a lot of time on your own. And I think also I have geared it at the moment more towards TV and film because there are certain things that people don't know they need until they need it. And when they do need it, they can't find it. And so I'm thinking that it might end up being a bit of an odds and sods department.
I like that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is kind of like, oh my God, I need somebody who specialises in 16th century China in Postlethwaite. And it's like, just the person for you. Talk to them.
Yeah.
You know, because we're not just developing my own business, trying to find somebody who will do a diary service for a home ec. I won't do it. There isn't one. Oh, well, do you have... Oh, yeah, I'd love to join your crew list. Do you have a section for home ec? No. And yet, when you want one, this last few weeks, it's been mental. From being really quiet, it's gone boomf. And everybody is booked up.
Yeah.
And it's because people don't know where to look. They don't know where to look for them or how to get hold of them or how to book them. So it's still very much in its infancy, still being formulated, as you can tell. But it's been kind of running undercover for well over 12 months now. It's not time for the baby to be revealed, but it's definitely getting there.
And I think that's it. These kind of things take time. And when you're creative, we try lots of different things, see if it works, and then go, yeah, cool, this is working. We need to run with this.
Yeah.
And it's so great that you've got a nice little cooperative there already.
Yeah,
and
sure. Yeah,
it's great.
It does. It's just people doing what people do. And I think quite naturally people will always try to help somebody out if they can. You know, we're stylists, we're people pleasers. It's what we do. You know, oh, you mean these other 14 dishes I've found out, right? Let me go and find you another 6.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
people pleasers. It's what we do. Um, and I think when you've got a cooperative of people that are actually looking out for each other, it's those conversations that you sometimes have of, oh my God, I don't know how the hell to get there. Where do I get? How do I do? I can't do this. I can't do this job. And that's when you need that support from other people around you. Like, oh, for God's sake, of course you can. It's gravy. You do this, that, this. Or go and speak to Tom here. Do you know what I mean? And I think we all suffer from imposter syndrome. We all have mental health issues from time to time where we're down or stressed or feel like your head's going to explode. And when you're working as a stylist on your own, it's really, really hard. It can be really, really difficult. And I think being a freelancer, and especially sometimes in this industry, kind of leads you to being a unit of one.
Yeah.
And there's not always a great deal of support from people who actually understand what the job's about.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's hard to find the work sometimes. It's then
Mm,
hard to like get in. Some places can seem a little bit clicky if you're not,
absolutely.
if you're quite new,
Yeah,
you know, and then you might have a really stressful day. You might be in a studio where you don't know where stuff is, and
yeah,
like
yeah,
just
yeah,
having those friendly faces, or like somebody you can quickly text or like voice
yeah,
note or give them a
yeah,
quick call and be like,
yeah.
oh, you know, what would you do in this situation?
Yeah.
Just that like community.
Even that. It's even that, isn't it? I've been asked
Yeah.
to do a job. What would you quote on this?
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah.
quote
Yeah.
for that? Would you quote for this? Would you include? And it's awful when you first start out because you've got absolutely no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was the most difficult thing as well, is figuring out pricing.
Yeah,
And I still struggle now, and I've been freelance, I don't know, 12 years, something like that.
yeah, yeah.
And I still struggle now, and I go like, oh, have I overpriced myself? Have I not priced
Yeah.
myself high enough?
You,
And, you know,
you see, this again is a little bit of the imposter syndrome
mhm,
because when it comes to pricing, and this has always been my argument, and everybody struggles with it. I struggle with it. Um, you price yourself at what you think you're worth.
yeah.
And I've always thought it'd be really helpful just to get other people to do your quotes for you
Yeah.
because they're from the outside looking at you going, oh no, she's shit hot. Oh God. And we don't even think about it because we're talking about somebody's worth. What do we think you're worth? For you to be here and do this, nobody else really has to worry about that. But
No.
then again, I reckon that's what salaries are. Are you worth 20 grand or are you worth 120? It's an awful way to think about people.
Mm,
And yet we do it without a second thought. So I reckon you pitch yourself where you think you're worth. And if people are walking away from that, I don't think it's a comment on you as an individual, kind of going, have I overcharged? So maybe your market's not right. Because there will be people out there who do think you're worth that.
yeah. I think that's another thing as well, is like knowing your market.
Yeah,
That can take years.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think,
And
sorry, go on.
I was going to say, finding like, because I just do still life now and propping.
Mm,
So for me, it's taken me, I'd say, until the last 2.5, 3 years for me to go, I'm not doing modern, like
yeah,
fashion stuff
yeah,
anymore.
yeah,
I'd
yeah,
still do the still life fashion, but like
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
models. And like finding my market, like there's people who know that I enjoy doing the econ fashion, so they ring me first.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
but it takes time to get to that point.
Developing those contacts, and that's
Yeah.
your business maturing.
Mm, mm,
You know, my client list now is absolutely nothing like it was when I started. You know, going back into styling. You
yeah.
know, I mean, obviously it is because I'm a food stylist now, so it wouldn't be the same. But it evolves. And I
Yeah.
think it evolves that's why it has to be organic because it evolves in a direction that shows where your passion is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because without even realizing it, you spend that time, you do this, you do that. I'm not saying that there are jobs that you're disinterested in, and some days are you're just a day rate whore, is what I call myself. What
Yeah.
do you do? I'm a day rate whore. Why? Because I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm doing
Yeah.
this job. Because, I mean, we can dress it up as much as we like. We're there for the money. We work because of the money. Um, and I think it's lovely to have work that you enjoy every single day. And I've been really lucky in that I don't think I've ever had a day doing food styling where I've kind of gone, ugh. I
That's
mean,
really special, isn't it?
I've been lucky, and it's either a change of attitude. I did have my New Year resolution was an attitude of gratitude, and my life within that 12-month period changed beyond all recognition. So I think
It
mental attitude counts a lot towards it.
Yes, and I'm with you on the gratitude thing. I do a gratitude diary every day.
Oh,
In
nicely, nicely.
Yeah, almost at 1,000 days now. So what's that?
3 years.
3 years, yeah. So like I hit a point where I could feel myself slipping,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
depression wise, and I
yeah,
thought I've got to sort this out because I'm miserable.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I just started to find the little glimmers of
Yeah.
joy throughout the day, and it just changes your mindset. And you're like, well, I can achieve anything. And
Mm,
also,
mm.
you're not consistently going to be buzzy, happy, off your tits all the time. There's
You don't want
something
to
nice.
be, do you?
No, no, God, I'd be worn out. But it's that gentle happiness throughout the day and gentle joy throughout
Contentment,
the day.
I think, is what they call it. Contentment.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. But again, I think it's something that people don't often discuss, although it is getting so much better, which is mental health at work.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think it's more in an employed environment that that's discussed, not
yeah.
necessarily self-employment.
No, and I actually think that self-employment is a roller coaster
Mm,
that we all enjoy, but we have amazing highs and we also have like incredible lows.
yeah,
Again, going back to being sometimes just being on your own, working on
yeah,
your own, or,
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
lots of different
Absolutely,
studios.
absolutely.
And actually, like, having these chats, you do get, like, I get a bit down and out, but I'm also very open about stuff
Yeah,
like that. I'm also
yeah,
very
yeah,
open
yeah,
about my endometriosis and that causing me
yeah,
pain and stuff.
yeah,
Because I think, like, if I've got a voice to talk about it, and while it might make somebody feel uncomfortable initially that I'm talking
yeah.
about
Mm,
it or saying
mm,
like I feel a bit grumpy or a bit anxious today,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it eases the whole day up. And actually, by I don't know if you find this, by me
yeah,
owning that I feel a bit grumpy
yeah.
or a bit anxious, it shortens the anxiety because I
Mm,
go, oh well,
mm.
I've owned it now. It can fuck off.
Well, you've released it, and
Yeah.
it gives other people around you permission. You know,
Mm.
I'm middle aged, I'm menopausal, and I can be a fucker. But I'm quite happy to walk into a studio, and I think I did it when we last worked together. Where I was like, "Morning, everybody, must excuse me, a bit brain foggy today.
Yeah.
Menopausal, middle aged woman coming through. I'm like a volcano. For God, can we open that window? I'm burning. I'm burning." And in But it has that, like you say, it gives everybody around you permission. A lot of food stylists are women. Yeah, I think it's quite split, male, female in food styling. Whereas I think the styling that is mainly women
Yeah.
as well. So it gives a lot of women around you permission. A lot of agency and marketing people, all women. So, and I don't even think the blokes are that bothered about it anymore.
No. And I think the more I speak about my endo and like
Yeah,
the other
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
issues, the more blokes are going, oh, my sister's got that, or
yeah.
like my
My wife, my
my
girlfriend, my
yeah,
mum.
yeah.
I
So
remember
I
my
think
grandma. Yeah,
Yeah, so I think it definitely helps. And I think, like, I'm so talkative that I think sometimes I just need to voice it and just be
yeah.
like, oh, well, I
Mhm,
just feel a
mhm.
bit shit. Or like you, I'll have like brain fog days where someone can go to me, can you move that? And I'll be 2 steps away from where they've
Yeah.
just said it set and I've forgotten what the fuck they've said.
I did that last week. I was like, right, can we just do these one at a time? please.
Yeah.
So what do you want doing first?
Yeah.
And I think as long as you own it and they understand, that is fine. It's like, yep, done that. What next? Yep, done that. Cool. Let's shoot it. Move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same. If somebody gives me a list of stuff to do on set, I'm like,
Oh,
let's break
forget
this
it.
down into like 3 things, and
Yeah.
then I'll get to that point and then tell me the rest. Because
My God,
it's almost
3.
like it depends how big each thing is. But I think it's otherwise I forget, and then I'm like, oh God, people think I'm being shit, and it's not. I've just had information overload.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that starts the anxiety. Oh my God, do they think I'm stupid? Why can't I remember all this? And that inner saboteur, as our
Yeah.
gorgeous RuPaul calls him, just starts. And then you are up shit creek without a paddle at that point because you're just spiraling.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you're absolutely right. You're spot on. Owning it at the beginning just diffuses it.
Yeah. And like, even like if I'm on set and like we're all having a bit of a creative block, I'm like, right, let's go put the kettle on.
Yeah,
Let's have 5 minutes
yeah,
and then
yeah,
reset. Because sometimes you can get into a state where you're like, oh
yeah,
God, and everyone's getting frustrated. And like, actually, at the end of the day, we're doing something fun and it doesn't need to be
yeah,
stressful. So like, let's go have a brew, have 5 minutes and then carry on.
yeah. Is anybody going to die as a result?
No, maybe the dog if it's eaten some tempura prawns from the night before off the
Well,
table, but that's
I mean, to be fair, they are scavengers dogs. They can survive
it.
these things.
Honestly, the things I've seen dogs eat in studios is
Let's not
hilarious.
go there. Let's not even do
No,
it. I don't
no.
think we should. It's wrong.
Oh, bless them. Bless them.
Oh.
But yeah, it's funny that imposter syndrome sits within all of us, isn't it? And it's how we all manage it and kind of push it down and just tell it fuck off.
I don't know. I mean, it just opens up so many other arenas, doesn't it? Because it's like it becomes: is it an issue of feminism? Is it an issue of self-worth? Is it an issue of this, of that, or the other? It's a many, 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 many pronged affair, I find.
Yeah.
I've just had one of those brain fog moments where I've got halfway through a sentence and forgotten what I was saying. But whatever it was really important. I can't remember what the hell I was saying.
That's how my brain goes sometimes.
Yeah,
And you just go like, I know I was saying something.
I'm not quite sure what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
remember.
So what's been your most favourite thing to have styled over your career?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have a bit of a think about that. As in job or item or most proud of moment.
Oh, give me your most proud of moment. Give me that one.
No, for making something.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I'm back in the 70s. We did a 1970s roast dinner where the protein was ham. It had to be a full ham, a full gammon. But because of dietary requirements, there could be no meat. So we had to do it out of a watermelon. That was good. That was pretty good. I did aspic on that one as well. That was quite cool. And a beautiful, oh my God, a gorgeous. You're a food stylist when you can get happy and giddy over Savoy cabbage. I did a gorgeous mould inside a spring, like in a cake tin, and you lined it with blanched spring cabbage. I'll just say it again, spring cabbage. And then you put all this rice and chicken and gorgeousness inside and then pressed it, folded it in, folded all the leaves around, pressed it and chilled it. And it was a 1970s recipe book I found. And that was beautiful. Oh my God, it was so gorgeous. It's really hard to think because you don't ever want to say things because you're just like, you're right, big head, you. Stop talking about shit. We did a wonderful macaron tower for Munich That was quite stunning with florals. About a 4-foot high macaron tower. That was wonderful. I love it all. I can't call it. I just love it all. You kind of
Yeah.
go, yeah, done, did it. That moment when they kind of go, yeah, scene complete. Thank you very much, people. Oh, it's a wrap. Oh, yeah, we've done. Have we finished the shot list? Yeah, wonderful. I just get a really
Oh,
good.
yeah.
I just get a really good sense of achievement from that. I think the simplest job I ever did once was hot dogs. Simple jobs that you kind of go, do you really need a home ec for this? And it's like, yeah, okay, no, I'm fine with that. So I did hot dogs for Tony Collette on Wanderlust. That was quite cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Simple jobs. We just need some bread. Okay, sure, yeah, no, I can do that. That's fine. You just find yourself in silly places with a cup of soup. Oh, I did. I spent a whole day making cups of tea for Sir Patrick Stewart. That was quite cool.
That's cool.
That was really cool. That was so exciting. Oh my God, I was so giddy. I can't tell you. Really, really cool. He's a really cool man. So I spent all day making tea. That was brilliant.
That's insane. Like, our jobs are so weird, aren't
Not
they?
the crazy.
Like, they're just bonkers. Like, somebody asked me the other day what the craziest thing was that I've styled. And I thought,
Yeah.
oh, that's such a good question because there's loads.
Tricky,
I've
isn't
like,
it? It's hard.
yeah, because there's so much like that I don't consider weird, but other people would
Yeah.
consider weird. And when
Yeah,
somebody,
it's so
some,
true.
and you go, well, oh yeah, well I've wrapped loads of massive boxes for like some actors to pretend they're bench pressing while Rio Ferdinand's blowing a whistle at them, and then like I've dressed some footballers and
Yeah.
I've done
Yeah.
something, and like I've also done loads of lingerie shoots where you have to
Yeah.
put a toilet roll down the back of the pants to make them sit right, and people look at
We
you and
used
go
to use
like,
face cloths.
oh, did you?
Oh. But
But it
people,
is.
I remember Barbara telling me about a shoot that she was doing, and it was for weights and machines and all that kind of stuff. And they got the models from the local boxing club. So these young lads that are absolutely cut are coming in, and it's like they're out on set and they've just got like tiny whiteys on and all this kind of stuff. And Barbara says, "Right, I need to oil you."
Oh God.
And this young lad is like, "It's all right, because my manager puts grease on my eyebrows." Well, and she's like, "I'm going to be doing more than your eyebrows." Like baby oiling boxes. Where else would you do it?
Yeah, but it's something that needs doing as well. It's one of those things of like, if you think it's weird, it's probably been done in a photography shoot or,
True. Very, very
film set.
true. Yeah. I made
I
I made poison in a bottle once. Fake
Oh,
fake
that's
poisoned. Yeah, in a bottle. That was for Franny Langton. That was quite cool. We had to make a sad cake for Emily when we filmed Emily. A Victorian sad cake, which is a real thing. It's when somebody passes, and for the funeral, you want cake, but you don't want it over the top because it's disrespectful. So you bake a sad cake. But they wanted this sad cake to look really sad. So me and Barbara are there going, right, whack that oven up to 240. And we just burnt the shit out of it. And because Barbara's a really good baker. She's really, really good. And I put something under one side so it was on the tilt. So that it was like about 3 inches thick on one side and a centimetre on the other. And we just burnt the crap out of it. So that was quite funny. Can you make us a sad cake? Yes, we can. We can.
that definitely sounds like one of the Victoria sponges I cooked not so long ago.
Oh, I did Sherwood as well. Series 1 and Season 2 of Sherwood, and spent a whole day in Nottingham Forest with a trestle table and a camping stove,
Oh God.
making breakfast. And it was a beautiful day. It was so sunny. It was gorgeous. And then it started pouring down, and I became very unhappy. But everybody thinks that you're the caterers when you're on set.
Oh yeah.
Can I have 2 sausage barms and some brown sauce? No, you can't. Go away. Catering's at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah. You can have the sausages, but they're probably half raw because they're just going on set.
Yeah, and can you just sign this disclaimer? Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
And there might be a pin in there as well, just in case.
Just so you know. Yeah, so I spend a lot of my time in up hills, in car parks, in garages. Garages are another favourite. Spend a lot of time in garages. And stately homes, so it's kind of from one extreme to the other, really.
I do feel like people think our job's quite glamorous, and actually, when you get to the nitty gritty, it really isn't.
No, it's really not. You've got your hand up turkeys, you're basting raw ham. I've just been doing a job. Can I tell you about this? I don't know if I can. No, I've signed an NDA. I can't tell you about it.
Oh.
But it was disgusting, and I'll tell you later.
Yeah, please do. I love.
Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. But a challenge. I'll send you a picture afterwards.
Yes, do. Because I think the challenging jobs as well, they push you like creatively and mentally. And I think they're always good fun, but then it's nice to go in and be those day rate whores as well, where you're doing something that's fun. You know, you're just like, well, I'm just doing this because it's easy peasy.
Well, I didn't. I was free, and they offered me money, so I went.
Don't blame me, mate.
Yeah, I think there's a line of T-shirts in that. I really do.
Yeah,
I did start off. There's all these sites now where you can design and print your own T-shirts and have them for sale, aren't they, and all that. And I thought, there's definitely a line of T-shirts here, because they have them in America for all the different crew departments. And I thought, we got to get these into the studios over here. It'd be hilarious.
You've just reminded me of someone's Instagram story that I saw the other day, and it was a lighting tech, and on the back of his T-shirt it said "in charge of shit lighting," and I was like, "This is great."
That's exactly the thing.
Yes,
I started casting about for ideas from different people, and I think the first one that came up was, "No, we're not catering."
Yeah,
that's first and foremost.
Yeah, that's great, that one.
The rest were really rude. I can't even say. Can't talk about. Funny.
I do think though as well, creatives have like a quite a rude sense of humour as well. I think it's being on set together. You've got to suddenly gel, haven't you?
I mean, it can just get quite horrific, can't it?
Yeah.
when everybody gets a fits of giggles at the same time, it's usually when you're absolutely knackered and stressed off your tits, isn't it? You just go. You just absolutely go. I love that though. I live for that.
Yeah, I think laughter's such a great thing on set as well, especially if it's like someone's being a bit silly or, you know, whatever. Because like we can't be too serious, can we really, in our jobs? Like it's not, you know, we're not brain surgeons.
No, nobody's dying today.
It's dying.
I said nobody is dying today.
Oh yeah, nobody's dying today.
Not on our watch.
No.
We do have a bit of a victory dance. We did a television commercial earlier in the year, and it was intense. Nobody's fault. It was just an intense shoot, and everybody was so gorgeous. They were lovely, lovely, lovely people. But at the end of it, when we were packing up and it was done and dusted, they're like, "Yeah, it's a wrap. It's done." And I went back outside to the food wagon that we were on, and my lovely, lovely, gorgeous people are there doing a victory dance for me. You the man. You can't see it because there's no video, but I'm doing the dance. You the man. You the Oh, we've just done some stupid shit, I tell you.
Yeah.
Keep yourself going. But that was
Yeah,
really lovely, the victory dance.
You've got to do them sometimes, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got to do them.
Yeah.
I've got one final question for you, and it's broad, but and answer it in whichever which way you see fit. But what inspires you, Jo?
Satisfaction. An odd one, I know, but that's just what's floated to the top of my brain. Finishing a job and being an approval-seeking people pleaser when it's gone well and everybody is happy and it's, yeah, good job done. Thank you.
Yeah.
That moment right there. Or even when it's been really hard, really tricky through nobody's fault and everybody just pulls together and gets shit done. So it's satisfaction. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And I know that feeling when you've done a shoot and you're knackered.
Yeah.
But it's all gone, it might have gone crazy and busy, but everybody at the end is going like, that was really nice. We've done it. It looks great.
Yeah. And I think that's for everybody. You know, it's everybody I work with. You know, because I work with some fabulous people. I'm so lucky to have the people that back me up, that are there for me. Like I say, the freelancers in their own right. They're running their own business. They're powerful people. And I'm so lucky that when I ring or text or message, they say, yeah, of course. Got you, we're there. And when they have a brilliant day and I see them doing stuff and going forward and killing it, absolutely killing it, it's like, satisfaction. I'm really happy.
I love that answer, Jo. I love it.
Thank you. No, it's nice. No, it just makes you feel like that's the warm glow moment.
Yeah.
It's the Sunday croissant on a Sunday morning with a really good brew.
Yeah. I'm there. I'm transported. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I have thoroughly loved chatting to you. And
me too.
You've just done some incredible things, and I know you've got more incredible things coming, and
hopefully
it's just insane to see you grow, and the list of shoots and films and TV programs you've been on is incredible.
Well, thank you, Dawn. I've been very, very lucky. Very, 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 very lucky. But as somebody once said, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. The harder you work, the luckier you get. But
yeah, never a truer word said.
But to be fair, it is all about luck. It's being in the right place at the right time and saying the right thing. And I could give you examples of when I've been in the right place and said the wrong thing, but I'm not going to. The girls say that I'm no longer allowed to be in charge of PR. Because I'm like, right, I've got a job. Can anybody do this job? Right, it's really shit. The hours are long, the money's crap. Nobody knows what they're doing, but does anybody fancy it? And they're like, you can't be in charge of PR anymore. You're not allowed.
At least you're being honest, though.
Always.
You know, that's... Oh, bless. Well, we'll leave it there for today. Thank you so much, Jo.
No,
I really loved it.
And thank you. I know it's taken quite a long time to get this together, so thank you for being patient, Charlie. You're an absolute star.
You're all right. I knew you were a busy bee, and I thought, I'm going to nail her down one day. Whether I take the microphones into work and just hope that she's there.
Bless you. Oh, I've loved it. I've loved every single second. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. please rate, follow and share, as it really helps this little podcast out. And if you have found value in the podcast and you have the means to, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee link in the show notes. This will help keep the podcast going. Join me next week for another fantastic guest. Bye!